Hey everybody, this is Bryan Hatch and wanted to jump into another episode of my tribute to my grandpa. And today I was looking at a little bit, kind of reminiscing a little about my grandpa and I guess his age. When I do the calculations and I look it over, my grandpa was 60 years older than me. Add a few months on there, but as far as to the year, it was 60 years older than me. And so when I think of that, when I was 10, that means he was 70. So I don't think of him as a young guy, but I don't know. No, I think I always thought of him as old. But in a positive light. I never felt like that was a bad thing or that I was being rude to him. I don't think I ever made fun of his age to him. Not that I remember. And I'm coming to find out when I'm doing these things that I'm forgetting a lot of things. My mother's doing a great job on telling me where I've forgotten things. And it's probably going to keep happening. But when I look at some of the young things my grandpa did, or the things that made me feel like he was young, I remember knowing that my grandpa was old, but I remember in my room where I grew up, I wanted to have shelves all the way across, on the outside. Mom, you're amazing for letting me do whatever I wanted to do, I guess. But I wanted to have shelves all the way around my room, up at the top, so I could put stuff on them, random weird stuff, I guess. But my grandfather was the one that made the shelves. I don't recall that my grandpa was a carpenter, but he did make a lot of shelves for a lot of my cousins. I can honestly say that happened for a lot of us grandchildren of my grandpa. He was always out there. He'd had a little shed out back, and he would get the saws and whatever he needed to do to shape it and cut it and make it look awesome. He'd put cool beveled edges on it. I mean, he would really do some pretty awesome stuff. Stuff that I would be leery of trying myself, but I'm not opposed to it. So I'm sure that if a grandkid, I don't have grandkids, ever told me, "Hey, Grandpa, would you make this for me?" I probably would give it a shot, but I wouldn't say that was my expertise. My grandpa made some shelves, and so that was one of the things I remember him doing. It made him feel younger because he was active. He was going out there and cutting and doing things and sanding and making it, staining and make it look perfect. That was just something that he did for us. I thought it was really cool. Another one of the things that I remember is my grandfather had a Chevy S10. I don't remember what years, and maybe some of my family can pop in there and tell me when he had that. But it had to have been in my younger, he had to have been between 70 and 75 years of age, maybe 78 years of age for him. And this little S10 pickup, he had these seat cushions that I still to this day don't understand why he had these seat cushions. They were like beads, real knobby beads. And it was kind of woven in a pattern so that it was, I don't know, you sat on it, it was in his truck, it was supposed to be comfortable. Maybe it was for old people, but all I remember as a kid is getting in that seat and it pinching my arms and my legs all the time because you'd kind of roll on it, it would pinch and pinch. So, but I never remember making fun of him or telling him I didn't want to sit in his truck. I always loved going in my grandpa's truck because typically the best part of it was sitting right behind him in that little S10 where the seats faced each other. It was awesome. I mean, you were I don't even know how we fit in that space, but it was fun. So you'd get in that little truck and be inside there, and that was fun. And then the joy of that is, as kids, we'd get in the back of the truck, and my grandpa would run us around. He had some hills. He lived in West Mesa, and while there's not a whole lot of mountains or hills in the valley, Arizona, there was still plenty of hills by his house. I mean, ups and downs. And so he'd take us down these big hills, and we thought that was the most fun thing in the world. And so that's some of the stuff that made me think of my grandpa as maybe always being sharp and being young, but maybe not physically being young. I don't know. Maybe someone that's 70 is telling me that they're not old, but I don't know. I still, when I become 70, I think I'm going to feel like I'm old, but maybe I won't. But anyways, I hope that some other people that are watching these tributes will maybe share an experience or something they remember of Grandma and Grandpa back in the day. It was just fun being there. And so I want to share a poem that my grandfather wrote, and you'll be able to hear it in his voice, and it's something about a little more about his age. And so if you'll just jump in, check out this poem, and I hope you'll enjoy it, and then I'll see you next week.
This is Lookin Young. Old man, you're really looking young, my friends say when we meet. But I'll tell you a secret that you must not repeat. I know I'm looking healthy, and I never have no ills if I remember daily to take my 7 pills. Each morning there's a green pill that always must be taken. It goes straight to my fingers to stop them from a-shaking. To regulate my pressure and to keep the strokes away, I send a little blue pill to my aorta twice a day. I take a small brown capsule. In my stomach it must stop, to make certain that my food goes down and doesn't come back up. A triangular-shaped blue pill to my prostate is directed, to guarantee my waterworks will always be protected. I take a yellow pill to stop the tremor in my tongue. It never used to do that when I was somewhat young. I must take a big white pill at each lunchtime, that is certain. It goes directly to my legs to keep my knees from hurting. At supper time, I just repeat 3 of the aforementioned. At bedtime, there's a pink pill to relieve me of my tension. There's one more pill that I should take, as you must surely know, a traffic regulator to tell each pill where to go. If I forget to take my pills, my hands begin to tremble. I get a wet spot on my pants, and my stomach starts to rumble. My jaw and tongue start wagging when I'm not even talking, and I have to take along a cane to help me when I'm walking. Well, now you know my secret, and I'll never lose my youth, for I keep it stored in bottles if you want to know the truth. So if you think you're seeing me, it's really not myself. You're looking at those 7 pills that I keep on the shelf.